Hey, this video is to explain what is in-house. NHZ is how it's pronounced, as in-house. And it was given to me maybe sometime around 2015. And basically all God gave me is that he's the creator and that we are his art. And there are all kinds of artists. And when I was married to an artist, and that was like the main focus. So I just constantly tried to encourage all artists. And through that, a motto came, and which I share, which is, thanks for sharing your art with the world. And as I continued to just walk in that, God kind of opened up and bloomed what in-house really was. And so we always hear people say, oh, you know, that's in-house, or I got in-house this or that. And that's exactly what it is, except that it's about within. So it's a frequency. So NHZ little z, NH little z is a frequency. And so it's kind of like the Christ concept. So within yourself is a frequency, and that frequency lives inside, and that continues to grow as you feed it, whether you're feeding it with God, or you're feeding it with your artistry, or whatever it is that you're feeding it with, and it will continue to grow. Well, with that concept, once you grow and you start to blossom, it will start to touch other things around you, which then plants a seed, and then that grows. So the concept of in-house, and why I post on artists of all kinds, I don't care if you're just a content creator or a rapper or a poet, or I don't care what you do. Your art could be being a pastor. Your art could be what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Running a Bible study or something like that. So that is the essence of what thanks for sharing your art with the world is, because people don't understand how that process can be difficult. Searching within yourself, seeing the things that you need and God putting inside of you, and how does that come to fruition. And I used to stress so bad. I'm like, God, you give me this thing, and how do I make it happen? I don't got the bread, I don't got nothing. Like right now, I don't even know how I'm gonna pay my rent, but I know how to be obedient. And every time I'm obedient, he makes a way out of no way. There's no way for me to constantly explain it besides be an example in my own life, and frequency and energy in my own life, on how to be an example of living this, lifestyle, basically. And so the motto is, thanks for sharing your art with the world. I don't care if you walked outside today and you're so depressed and you thought about killing yourself, you're on drugs, you're cheating on your wife, you're doing bad things to your family, you're in absolute darkness, and you can't even begin to imagine how to get out of the darkness, so much that you've accepted the darkness. This is for you. You have a frequency of light that if you literally just sparked a teeny tiny little bit in that darkness, it would be enough for someone to follow. It would be enough for someone to see. And so I don't only do this because God is telling me to do it, and I need to be obedient to that, and this is part of my destiny, but I'm doing it because if it wasn't for those tiny little lights in darkness that I could see, I wouldn't be here today. There's complete strangers on the internet who prayed, who don't even know that they prayed me out of that darkness. And I've faced a lot of darkness. I've had sexual abuse. I've had addiction. I was in a really long marriage that was not ordained by God. I had I have 3 children altogether. 2 were out of wedlock. And then I get married and have a child and divorce 2 years later out of a 20-year marriage. I mean, God has done a thing. And for me personally, I wasn't a church kid growing up or anything like that, but I always had this frequency about me that people were drawn to. And it was hard because I don't always have family that supports and all of those kinds of things, but you have to find something inside of yourself. And so when I decided to leave my marriage and pick up my cross and do what God had told me to do, I mean, all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. The marriage that I was in was under attack. I left. I was in domestic violence centers. I was in homeless shelters with my children. My own oldest son had to start high school in a shelter. So when I look back at those times, and thank God I kept journals throughout all those years, from 2021 to now, I can look back and I can see where God was implementing and where he was working. So I just want to say thanks for sharing your art with the world. So if you're in a dark place and you just come out and smile today, that's your art. And that's the gist of In-House. Y'all have a great day.